Oh, okay, madam. Good afternoon, all.
Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon. Just can we start? Or we will wait for participants? Madam, can we start?
Yes, sir. Very good afternoon to all, sir. Sir.
Yeah.
Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon, madam.
Am I audible, sir?
Audible, madam.
So welcome to the session, afternoon session, sir. Today's speaker, the topic is advanced pedagogies, the impact on outcome-based education. I'd like to introduce Dr. V Suresh Kumar garu. He is a former professor and IQAC head at MS Ramaya Institute of Technology and also associated with the NAC committee. Is a member of the NAC committee. And presently, sir is associated with GITAM University, Visakhapatnam, as a Director-IQAC. Sir, I don't have much information about you, sorry to say.
You should
sir,
know, no? Yeah, anyway, that is not this one. Can we start? Because
Yes,
already delayed, no? Yeah.
I will stop sharing, sir. Please proceed, sir.
Yeah. Good afternoon, all. There is slight delay in our communication. Anyway, it is part of advanced pedagogies. Can anybody give what is your opinion about this advanced pedagogy? It's relevant to engineering education. Anybody can chart it, put it on chat box. Anyway, rough idea also. Rough idea also, no issue. Anybody could chat. What is meant by advanced pedagogy? Any rough idea, whatever you are discussing? Advanced pedagogy. Advanced pedagogy. Can anybody answer? New, which was not in practice. Yeah. Right. Enhanced teaching techniques. Oh, excellent. Yeah, some of you, yeah, see the basic, you may be seeing the engineering education over a period of time. We call either data structure or advanced data structure. But the point here is engineering education, you know that better. Engineering education is for what purpose? Why we go for engineering education? Because education is the process receiving and giving systematic instruction at college level or school level, doesn't matter. But an engineer, he should fulfill it is an activity he has to fulfill the essential needs of the people for the economic development and provisions of services, blah, 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 etc. But basically what I would like to insist is engineers are the people who they have to get education. Well, they have to get education based on the state of art development of the society, people, their needs. So essentially you can summarize in the statement, there is uncertainty in the requirement of the people or society, and please remember ultimately it is for the economic growth of the society. This is the essential part of this one. So This uncertainty only, in general, we term it as a whatever we are addressing that uncertainty through education or through pedagogy, we can call it as advanced. Tomorrow, one more come, you can call advanced also. But that is not the core philosophy of an engineering education or engineering people, because as I mentioned, engineering people, they must address, it is an activity, engineering is an activity. So essentially, you have to meet the needs of the people and services to the society, people in large based on their needs. So based on this outline, because I would like to take you into the philosophy, because nowadays if you see, you can come across several buzzwords. Daily one buzzword will come. One professor who is not very much versed with anything, they will come and tell that why you are not using flipped classroom. One fellow will come and tell that blended classroom. People like me also give some suggestion. Suppose you are teaching a C programming, I will tell you follow that project based learning, some activity based learning. So all these buzzwords are coming into the faculty domain when faculty are working very hard. Nowadays, faculty are working very hard. In way back 25 years back, when two faculty are meeting in canteen or corridors, they always to talk about what to teach today, which is good for a student, and how we see that, and if possible, cup of tea over that, discuss about LIC policies, movies, site like that. Nowadays, any faculty are coming across in the canteen or anywhere, the basic thing is coming is what NAC work you are having, what NBA work you are having, what kind of FDP you have tried, and what is the use of it. If you are not going, my HOD will blast me or somebody will blast me. This is the kind of going on. So the people are confused with so many buzzwords, whether really we are teachers or not. Kindly remember, we are teachers first. So whatever we are doing is 200% correct, provided the uncertainty if you can meet through your teaching methods. Pedagogy essentially teaching method. So if you need that uncertainty, courses, subjects of the society needs, the courses required for the uncertainty in the society or globe or whatever may be. That uncertainty making is an activity of engineering. If you are imparting that education, either giving systematic instruction, you are making a systematic plan about to address that uncertainty related to your course. Whatever method you follow, definitely it is a advanced pedagogy. It is not like that blackboard and this one is gone, and who is teaching with blackboard is not good, and who is teaching with high sophisticated simulation tool. Not like that. See, these are all you are making earlier your presentation effectively, and all we are doing excellent job, and everybody do have, to my understanding, those who joins in the teaching community, they do have command over the subject. The problem here is, as I mentioned, it is uncertainty as far as engineering profession is concerned. So then we have to make it as a this one. With this background, I want to show you what is the overview of pedagogy, what is engineering education, what is engineering education, and essentially what we expect against an engineer, which you may be already familiar with, graduate attributes or POs, which essentially drill it down to POs. And one of the popular model adopted by either ABET or NBA officially is Bloom's taxonomy. So initially we spend more time on that this one, then we will touch upon Bloom's taxonomy also. But the overview of pedagogy, as I mentioned, this presentation just outlines what further engineering in engineering pedagogy, because their qualifications, teaching, learning process in engineering education. So theories on teaching, learning for engineering education are constantly being reviewed and discussed, because as I mentioned, theories are not static in engineering education, because every time, I will show you next few slides, if you see, look into the engineering problems, whatever you are attacking in the society, they are not the laboratory experiment. Laboratory experiment only springboard for you to understand the concept, to understand Ohm's law, to understand what is the battery, what is the circuit. If I add two batteries, what happens? All these things we will be discussing in lab. but that doesn't mean they will give Ohm's law in the real field. With this background, a project will come. So how you are going to address, including several. You may be wondering why humanity is required, why English is required, or why management subjects are required. If you look into the background, to start a company, it is not a joke. Any companies, for example, electric company, if you start a hydroelectric project, you must know entire thing other than subject also. In this sense, you should know safety, security, environmental laws, how you will get environmental free. It is not immediately within 2 days you will get approvals like that. So all these subjects are required for engineer, because you have to explain what are the implications after establishing hydroelectricity, or you are getting any what you call you are seeing recently several food contamination, civil engineers, canals, all these are to be discussed actually, frankly. So that is actually they preferred and they made theories. That is why theories are not static. So currently, what is the local need? If you are observing, there is a contaminated water in some of your Yellow or some other place, or malnutrition. For that, what exactly we have to do through courses? So that is the line I am taking you up to that. Any doubt, any time, with the available time, we can definitely share with you whatever my experience. So, and please understand, is it a rule? It is not a rule. It is not a rule you must apply advanced pedagogy or some pedagogy. Blackboard teaching I am teaching. Nowadays they are telling student centric learning. They are not telling teacher centric learning. Is it mean I am useless as a teacher? Whatever subject right from beginning I know, everything I can tell you what way. Everything is true. Everything is excellent, and I am seeing in between chart a blending of old and new instructional design. Yeah, all these to some extent they are true in the sense you are addressing the characteristics of a graduate engineer. A graduate engineer. Otherwise, if you address those uncertainties with your normal method, there is no differentiation between old and new. There is no new and old. This is very clear because, as I mentioned just now, that is why they say that the abilities to address those uncertainties to solve societal problems, if a student ability getting is our prime motto. We are mentors, facilitators, we are guides. So that is why they say that it is a student-centric learning, not a teacher-centric. Doesn't mean it is mutually exclusive. We are there with him. We are the backbone of him, and we are making him to be more effective to go to the society and solve all the problems, so that he will become an excellent performing engineer through our institution. That is actually the idea of engineering education. Okay, so it is not a rule. There is no rule that never and don't run behind any buzzword, because it is clearly majority times if you observe ours still going on blackboard teaching. So for formally to tell you what is the definition, art, science or profession of teaching. Of course, education. To recollect the definition, education is the process of receiving or giving systematic instructions at college. Systematic instruction. So those courses, those courses, 1 minute. Sorry, there is a disruption. Yeah, so just you can go through that. I am not going to give, this is available anywhere on internet, but the point here I would like to mention is it is more than a buzzword. This has pedagogy become, it is going into total mind space into the faculty, but faculty which after literature, see, these facilities are available abroad. These pedagogy techniques are available abroad. So they used to survey which methodology is helpful for their student. That is the literature. So based on that, they have developed some technology. Here also, several higher education institutions are tried, but actually ground level, whether really our people are understanding or not, whether our people are capability of these characteristics or not, that is crux of the problem. So anybody can differ and tell me. I love to hear from you. Do you feel that we must follow, even though student is getting the ability with normal blackboard teaching, I must use ICT or not? Or anybody surveyed that from our heterogeneous group? People from Telugu medium, English medium, Urdu medium, rural, semi-rural, urban, semi-urban, metro. So can anybody give your opinion on that? Because I will give actually this type of starting point just to make you, we should not run behind too much about the buzzwords, but we must be very confident about your subject course. In the accreditation terminology, it is called course. Anybody can ask me doubt on this. Yeah. If no doubts are there in chat box, I will proceed, or you put it on chat box. If frequently I will go through that. Any doubt I will keep and I will answer that. Right? Is it audible now? Hello?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Because afternoon session, no, generally heavy difficulty is there. Right. Okay. So anybody can take. So pedagogy, it is an education can either it may be teacher centered or learner centered. Based on the technology, from low technology to high technology approach. You cannot call it as either teacher centered or this one. It is a pedagogy. So the ultimate goal is, as I mentioned, just to recap, you can go through that this one. What is meant by teacher centered? What exactly teacher is doing, giving lecture and share content. This is also now we are doing. No issue in that. Knowledge of the student. Exchange of the information, knowledge essentially to students, either through observation or through a concept. So essentially knowledge is that one. So after knowledge imparting, what we try to get it, we try to assess. What you are assessing essentially, you are assessing, one of the comment is it should be blended with both teacher centric as well as. That is why there is no distinction between actually teacher centric and learner centric. If teacher centric is getting the abilities of the student, what we are going to discuss in this session, then fantastic. You can call it as any centric. So actually there is no, now the buzzword they have done like that, but ultimately you can call it as a learner centric. So we are assessing, that is actually they are calling is a learner. Remaining previous part, teaching, learning, everything is same. When it comes to assessment, now you know that in engineering we are going to see several, we are doing several attainments, all this stuff is there. So that is essentially what you call assessment is only major difference. Assessment only, we are seeing their attainment in that related to the courses or related to their properties or constant or what you call characteristics. Now student centric, just formal definition. So student-centric learning, directly student to be an active participant in the sense, in the assessment, he is the main entity. While the teacher still delivers content, you see, that is the definition. They take more like a mentoring role, and assessments are more knowledge. His knowledge is assessed more frequently. Knowledge about the course. That means the course either practically or observation or theoretically. That is knowledge. So if he gets into that assessment, if you are having any formula for assessment, even whatever attainment, you need not follow that formulas. What we are seeing, if you can invent a new innovative methodology of assessing their abilities, it is fantastic that you are seeing the graduate attributes of the engineering education. As I told, no, graduate attributes are the prime. Graduate attributes are the main. That means you define the characteristics. That is also not a fixed one actually. Something they have given about 12 in our engineering education, but beyond that, you can go beyond that. You can see beyond the world of engineering education globally. If you feel that anything can be added, you can add more. That is why they can, literature says that there is no hard and fast rule that you have to cut down the graduate attributes. You can have your own. But the point is, anything teaching learning process, if you follow, if you are capable of assessing, assessment also all need not be accurate. But to the some extent, you are declaring that, yes, my student is capable of these kind of graduate attributes. Yes, now he is eligible for employment or he is eligible to do practicing engineers. Actually, all these developed by practicing engineers in US. It is the frameworks, all these are from practicing after graduation, especially centered around civil and mechanical, that literature. So basically graduates of engineering education. See, still the dominant pedagogy, it is chalk and dust only. Even though we deny orally in FDP, it is still. But the point is point is that the literature also there is pros and cons. Somebody says that this is this year. All subject need not follow a uniform pedagogy. First, you remember that. That is the literature. I will teach my programming, C programming one way. You can teach your another subject, for example, Internet of Things in different way. So, but the point ultimately, all our goal is to make those abilities of the student. So, the methodology what you adopt as a blended learning or flipped class learning, all these were also earlier available in our Gurukula system. So, in recent years, especially, engineering has become a serious profession because across globe, what happened? No, an engineer who is graduating in India, whether he is eligible to go and do job in US or join in higher MS course, or he can join in any not only US, any Dubai or equivalently. So engineering profession has become a dominant role across globe. Even though COVID time doctors are not available in some countries or including ours, but the statistics says engineers need is more in the country, any country. So how to recognize their characteristics are similar or equivalent. So that equivalent part we have to deal with. That is why they have come with some accrediting the programs. That is the main purpose, that accrediting the program. If your program is not accredited, when you go abroad as a student, a time they will ask whether you are engineering graduate or engineering undergraduate, you passed from a recognized accreditation institute or not. That is the main dealing you have to tell them. So even I used to got calls after some time, some university they will call and ask whether really you are yours is accredited, give your credential to show that your program, it is not department, program. So whatever program you register under AICTE, BTech CSC means it is a program. Whether it is accredited or not. So for accreditation, they prescribed something. So all they have come together, because you can see the third point, the modern engineering profession deals with constantly with uncertainty. Constantly engineering profession, uncertainty data, incomplete data, conflicting interest, conflicting department demands, clients, governments, environmental groups, general public. So to float a company, if you see that, not a joke, See, one of the example, I don't want to name, one electric company, they started somewhere. After 20 years, local public went to court. A big refusal was there. After refusal, after 20 years, they got the permission from all bodies through court or through directly from office. All these things will happen. So that is a law. That is the law. So that means an engineer is not nowadays to after that. You should know other things. That is why all these characteristics are added in graduate attributes. It is not simply added. All these are added for that reason. That is why environmental groups are all conflicting. Suppose one fellow is accepting, you can see a nuclear power plant. One fellow accepting nuclear power plant, other villages they may not accept. So clients also like that. They will change frequently their mindset. They may ask this, they may ask that. So all these need to be drilled down to our entire 4 years engineering program. How to do that? How to do that? So it is a fundamental redesign of curriculum engineering programs. Fundamental revision of curriculum engineering program. Once this curriculum is correctly addressing whatever I told, uncertainty, all these, then majority courses, it may not be exactly whatever we teach, 50 courses for 4 years, directly they will map and we can say that easily, definitely some bridge will be there and industry academia bridge will be as it is. It will never be fulfilled. It is not possible also based on the needs, based on different domains, based on different projects. So there is a requirement to bridge that 3 months. That companies only majority they will do themselves, bridging the gap between industry and academia. There is no gap we are filling up here. We are making as a springboard so that tomorrow if they teach something related to programming, already programming we taught, he can jump into it very easily. Then they can put it on project specific requirement training and automatically they will flourish. That is the idea. So another buzzword is industry academia gap that will never be filled up. Only we can conduct for the past 30 years. I am saying we can conduct some workshops like this and some not knowing people like me, professors will come and bombard you for 2 3 hours and go. That is what happens in that situation also. Okay, so this is what exactly happened. So all the countries, not all the countries, several countries they have come into picture. How to make this happen in curricula? How to make it happen in higher educational engineering educational institutions? It is not only engineering. Some are coming, some are not coming. So that what you have heard about already, called it as outcome based education through Washington Accord. Any doubt? Please chat it. I am not seeing anything on chat box. Please chat doubts. Hello all, don't sleep please. Please chat on the chat box. Have you heard about Washington Accord? That is my question. So this outcomes means outcome. It is the ability of a student to demonstrate. Ability to demonstrate something. Abilities means mental or physical power of an action of a given task. That is called ability. So outcome means student is having ability to demonstrate something through education, outcome based education. It is not our word, it is a medical term. When they were treating a patient with some disability, they got some medicines and he was showing some outcomes, abilities. So that from there they accorded this one. Because why I am sharing this one, no, in this literature I have seen the reasonably literature why they kept this name also. So anybody interested, you may feel happy that at least why we are starting, why we have to follow this. So ultimately backbone is curriculum. Based on that you have to go for a pedagogy and to fulfill the requirements of graduate attributes. Okay. So now another agenda item is what is engineering graduate attributes or what we are talking, how really they are useful to address all this, whether really I can achieve through teaching learning process all these things. It is matter of concern. Several people are coming, several people are giving FDPs like me, several people are bombarding with so much material. Internet, if you browse something, you will get lots of material. But what is my job as a teacher? As a teacher, I have to concentrate on my subject. I should not leave the subject like current scenario in higher education system. I should not see the literature of outcome-based education, which is not required. A glimpse of that it is required, but too much of spending time is not at all advisable. Spending on our subject is most advisable to make students happy. So come back to the roots of the engineering education. It is actually divided by role of engineer plays, role of engineer plays in the society or in the profession. So technician, technologist, engineer, from left to right, if you can arrange on the straight line, it is arranged on the straight line on the role. So technician means is a skilled worker, skilled labor, like if you say lathe machine. If a procedure, if you train him like ITI, which may be duration of 1 year, maximum 1.5 years, one procedure he knows that, then automatically that procedure repeatedly he applies. Repeatedly he applies. Okay. So repeatedly when he is applying, automatically he become expert in that. That is why we feel that he is an expert in the particular domain. That is why ITIs are preferred technicians. Then technologist. Technologist is little broader. That means he can solve other than the normal skill, little bit more in the related domain he can understand. Like our 2-3 years duration may be there. Like we are calling it as a polytechnic. So why all these accords are there means a person here, carpentry or this one ITI or some lathe worker, how he can work in Dubai, how he work or some other country. So those countries who are all interested to maintain those characteristics, so they have come together. It is a non-governmental agreement. However, adopted by the universities when they are also part of the, when government committee members also part of this, then they made every government should have an agency to quality assure that these engineering education, it has to come to the level of at least producing the minimum whatever you call characteristics of engineer played by his role. So that role is what technician is Dublin Accord, technologist is Sydney Accord, and what we are going to discuss is not discuss, I will make a mention of it, but further we have to travel, further we have to go down the slides to see how it beneficial to for us, and our mindset should change in the sense that this is globally defined to make transferable. A person here, engineer, can work there, they can get H1 visa and they can go. What is this if you are like this? So that is why they have come with some Washington Accord. Everybody is having agency. India did joined in 2014 only they got Washington Accord permanent membership. Before that it was a normal temporary ID. The reason being they expect that an independent government body to look after National Board of Accreditation. Earlier it was with AICTE. So that is the one of them, and they will also be assessed. Some of you would have experienced that initial stages. Some foreign observer also they were coming to see the how you are visiting a campus. So these are the background of this one. So the engineering, this is body is called International Engineering Alliance. Of course, this I don't want to give more details. Anybody interested, you can just see the literature. But Washington Accord is our main this one, which is having benchmarking for mobility of engineering profession. Here also you can see advanced. Advanced benchmarking means advanced stands for the uncertainties in the technology and courses which are evolving from the uncertainty of the needs of the people of the society. So that is the major this one goal. Based on that, you can they defined. Based on that, they defined actually some two dimensions they took: knowledge base and problem complexity. If you look into all these attributes, either Australian accreditation, European accreditation, either Washington Accord, all these essentially, this WK1 in the bracket, we can see that 1 to 8 is knowledge base. W problem complexity 1 to 8. So all they generated against 5 themes for engineering education. 5 themes. Please note these 5 themes. Your mindset, if it is making into these 5 themes, those are only origin of graduate engineering attributes. So if you look into now sample, I will ask you just 2-3 can respond. 2-3 can respond. In that, in these 5 themes, which theme you will be coming across in our National Board of Accreditation process? Quickly, please give answer. I will continue. I told you I want to disturb you few minutes after because this is afternoon hour. Or normally also I used to interact like that. I displayed 5 themes against which graduate attributes were developed: knowledge base, professionalism, problem solving, diverse work setting, design. These abilities, against these themes, student must get abilities. Student must get abilities. My question is, which one frequently when you are designing curriculum or delivering your course, you will come across out of 5? 1 or 2 can respond fast. Yeah, good. So you prefer knowledge base? Yes, true. Anybody else? Anybody else? Response? Or getting bored? You can stop me anywhere. See, these 5 themes only expanded to the level of 21 attributes actually, drilled down to 15, 13, then 12. That 12 only we are calling it as program outcomes in National Board of Accreditation. But we were closely observed here, problem solving, knowledge base transfers to some curriculum designing, problem solving and design, they dominate. Remaining professionalism, diverse work setting, if you observe, these are the things required when the student stays on the campus, not after going. Professionalism cannot be You need not have a professionalism of a student after he joins, he will pick up like that. All these 5 themes, especially professionalism and diverse work settings, nowadays the communication skills, that is why. So how you are addressing in your teaching learning process, that is most important. So whatever you design, whatever you design your teaching learning process, lesson plan, pedagogy, need to be addressed against this. To be more specific, you see, these are the things which Washington Accord under knowledge base given. 8 knowledge base they want to. You go through that. I will give you 2 minutes. Similarly, next also problem solving. As I told you, 2 dimensions about Washington Accord. Washington Accord knowledge 1, WK1 stands for, you can see, I will see there, if you interesting natural sciences. We feel that natural sciences are not required. But at the same time, engineering is one. He has to solve several problems. He may need to design a hypertension monitoring meter, or one diabetic testing, or he has to design stethoscope. So all these are there. MRI mission, all these need to be a medical engineering is required. So should be aware, need not be mastering that. Mastering is engineering only, engineering process, engineering practice, engineering design, engineering problem solving, all this. But they see that there is a role of society in entire issues. Similarly, problem solving are 7. If you see closely, it is 8 plus 7, 15. Right? So what is involved infrequently encountered issues? See, we don't say infrequently issue, we cannot even predict sometimes. COVID we have not predicted, but the point is with his background knowledge of this engineering process, he must be in a position to apply. Majority would have seen that several workshops conducted on COVID data set machine learning. Because already you have got trained on machine learning, already you are aware of artificial intelligence applicability to all this, and you know that some deep learning techniques, and now you are capable of solving. So several workshops were there, somebody they identified the patterns in the COVID patients. All this helped a lot, including identification of mRNA, how they large data set they identified very fast. So they do have a DNA sequencing of mRNA. I think I don't know the details. Why I'm saying is, no, with the background, infrequently encoded background, but you are not ready with that. That is a delay in identifying all this. So these are from graduate attributes, we have come to program outcomes, which are directly derived from that earlier Washington Accord graduate attributes. Okay. Now one more question. One more question. Be ready. Go through that 6. I will ask you one question to identify your participation in this. We started with engineering education. What are the essential attributes of an engineering education, which are signed as Washington Accord by role, of course. Those attributes are further drilled down to program outcomes given by National Board of Accreditation, or ABET also. ABET may give some other, or ABET may give same. From Washington Accord graduate attributes, go through that. Some interesting question, you will see that. One common word is there in several program outcomes. Or you can directly talk, if chat box, if you want, directly if you want to discuss, I request coordinator to unmute those who are interested to discuss. No issue, let it be interactive. My question is, what is the common word among all these? Excellent. Excellent. If you look into all these, outcome based, If you look into all this, the common word, if you see this complex engineering problem, see the cursor, complex engineering problem. Then again I take complex engineering problem. So that is why first I mentioned complex, again cursor you see, complex engineering problems. Again you see complex problems. So again you see complex engineering activities. So the point here is you should be aware that the graduate attributes demand is more. So that is why they will give level of specificity, it is called. That means they will general definition they will give, they will define like graduate attributes or similar program outcomes. From that, you have to drill it down to specific. That means you are coming to course outcomes. That means your design of curriculum is within the framework of program outcomes. Outcomes are abilities of the students to demonstrate. Ability means mental or physical power of an action to perform a task. So, this is outcome based engineering education. Now, based on this only, your curriculum, your pedagogy, all this. But inherently, they will keep sixth if you see, fifth, if they see uh, the activity modern tool usage. So all these, if you see, they are all we have to facilitate when they are on the campus. When they are on the campus, and you see, they are not simply the statements. They do have a meaning. They do have a content. They do have a proper this one. Suppose PO6, if you see how many of us we are giving in their training or what you call coaching or teaching learning process. If they do some experiment, are we teaching them any societal, health, safety, legal, cultural issues and consequent responsibilities? As I mentioned, electrical, it is a cultural issue, legal issue, safety issue. Any company starts with health issue. You have to give undertaking for all this one. That is why our governments will run behind. Faster governance is not there. It takes time. So some countries they are having excellent model. Some countries don't have. In our country, very stringent laws and approvals. That is why there is a single window system. Like that, they will say that. So these are the things you should understand when you are designing curriculum, when you are starting any pedagogy. So just I completed all these 12 I want to show you. Okay. So these are the NBA defined programs. So next interesting, this one is the word which I told you, but I will skip very fast this one because I don't want to spend time, but it is a complex engineering problems. That means the engineering problems which you are discussing in the laboratory, they are not complex in nature. But what is meant by complex? What is meant by complex engineering problem? So it do have some property. Should have depth knowledge, not only breadth, depth knowledge you should have. You should address the uncertainty. You should define the you should define a wide range of conflicting issues how to address. So definitely solutions are not obvious in nature, ready-made solutions. So it outside accept standards sometimes. Sometimes you have to go beyond the standards and codes. So diverse stakeholders, that is why stakeholder requirement. Even one person may not be interested in that. Suppose if you are designing a banking application, bank manager will tell something, clerk will tell something, ultimately GM will give something. So ultimately, how to develop that? ATM is the best example for complex engineering problem. Anybody can spend time on that, and ATM is the best. When you are inserting in the card, within of seconds, you are getting money back. How it is? Very complex this one. For complex engineering problem, that is one of them. Okay. So this is just I want to show. So we have come to the level of engineering education. Why different technologies or different pedagogy required to make you, the point is to make you how it is evolved, what are the essential characteristics of an engineer. So anybody can quickly see that whichever is important here. Just I am defining a complex engineering problem. Anybody can keep. Anybody put it chart box in this entire diagram, which is important for us. Which is important. Anybody can put it on chat box quickly. Skills, okay, agreed. Emerging trend, communication, secure communication. Little bit you are coming too close. I don't know name, but good. That is secure communication. I think electronics persons can identify. See, yeah. Closely if you come, just my perception, you can have anything. My perception is, if you see the cursor, the helmet is having a video capturing system where you should get communication from all that to identify the enemy and target that enemy. High communication, secured communication, jammers will be there, or what you call, all this will be there. So how you capture this example? I am telling how difficult this system, how many engineers are required, what are the abilities are required, what all you mentioned in chart box, all they must possess. All they must possess. Otherwise, where it goes? If you observe recent newspaper also, they have told that now they are purchasing some sensors and which cannot be captured by enemies. Enemies target you will get within no time. So actually sound should come. It is not coming sound. The helicopters move from right to left. They are moving, but sound is not coming. Okay. Anyway. Yeah, so just to mention, to make you, whatever we are teaching, our philosophy to go towards complex engineering problem. And if you address all these graduate attributes, it will be more easy. Okay. So I will give just again brief about program outcomes. Madhu Bala madam, anything is there to say, or shall I continue? Hello? Shall I continue or anything? I will spend 2 minutes on your doubts. Any doubts are there? Any doubts are there? I will spend 2 minutes or we will go further. So, in summary, in earlier what we call 1.5 hour, 1 hour, or 1 hour 10 minutes, we discussed about what is exactly engineering education, what is outcomes, and what is the expectation of a graduate engineer, how all these are listed out. That is what we have seen Washington Accord. Further, more specific program outcomes of engineering education. Okay, so that is the list of characteristics. For example, if you are appearing for a essay selection, some characteristics should be there: height, weight, running speed, knowledge, general knowledge, written test. All these are our courses only. Those are the essential listed out are outcomes, abilities. So listed out in form of program outcomes. So anytime understanding program outcomes and what exactly their meaning is important. I will spend some 5 to 10 minutes on that because of time paucity. But you can think before designing your curriculum, before designing your pedagogy. One of the pedagogy model I will show you, but however, you can have your better anything is there across. So again, to reproduce, these are the list given by them. Okay, just I am representing again. So terminology I don't want to give you, but these are the objectives, actually program educational objectives with the, it is a broader statements. It should not copy from POs drilled down. It actually evolves from vision mission. Just you can go through that, your self-explanatory. Then I will push on to essentials. So similarly, you can see other terminology. Basically targets, how you go through about it. Abilities indicator. Basically it is for improvement. So what are the outcome elements you are expecting for our program outcomes? We are seeing bigger statements. Some are giving this you calculate, some are doing this one. Our teaching is going one side, attainment is going one side, given an ACT and behavior is going another side. When the people are appearing, whether really they are getting attainment. Because as per this one, actually Washington Accord, GRE score also, a second year student here can study second year there. GRE TOEFL score also must reduce, but not yet reduced. Of course, that is a different story. But when it comes to the idea of this one, these are the things required for this. Just to go through. Yeah. So these are the course outcomes. Ultimately, all these definitions from program outcomes, we are coming down to course outcomes. Course outcomes essentially knowledge, skill, and attitudes that students who complete a course should acquire. Some of the outcomes in each required course should map into or identical with or one or more program outcomes. A course may be having one or more program outcomes addressing this one. That means the core idea of this one is essentially program outcomes. So uh, these program outcomes understanding is very much essential. Kindly understand that without doing, you need not design curriculum, you need not design a question paper, that means assessment, collecting all this attainment. Once if you are having that philosophy back in mind, automatically it follows. Once you know that what program outcomes, that mapping also, in some other session we will see how to map that 1 2 3, how to obtain, what is the reason we have to keep one, why we have to keep 2 3 between CO and PO mapping. Some other time we will see, anybody is having doubt on course outcomes related this, please put chat box or otherwise put proceed also, so that I will proceed. Hello participants, put either proceed or continue, or you can we can discuss anything on this. Outcome based representation is program outcomes. When it comes to course, it is course outcomes. If you are having any doubts related to this or any other outcome based, you can put. Or shall I proceed? Okay. So this is the course outcome. From you have come from engineering education to graduate attributes to program outcomes to course outcomes. So in-depth knowledge, all this I defined. PSOs also, to be more precise, PSOs definition you see. I will come back to if anybody is having doubts on this. Basically, these program specificums are a specialization in the department. Suppose I am running a department, civil engineering. suppose that local problem, suppose some ocean is there. I am addressing related to oceanography, or I am developed anything related to that, or if our college is located at some rural where semi-arid lands are there, or we are giving any solutions for that, actual meaning that. But later stages, it is also some kind of transition. So they call it as any PhD specializations, or anybody is mastering that. Some great professors or faculty, if they are there. So again, they derived. But remember that 2 to 4, when we are defining, every PSO need to address it to 3 to 4 courses. One PSO, one course is not a good idea. Right. So this is of the story of PSOs. Examples, you can see examples. So now, very important, very interesting. Look into this one. This is very important for any teacher to know that. If you already know, okay. Otherwise, this is most important. If you observe the program outcomes, all cannot be drilled down to courses. Whatever course you are seeing, not possible to drill down. That is why they divided this 12 what we are talking into technical outcomes, where directly you can design your solutions, or what you call courses or subjects. Out of 50, several courses will come to first 6, 7 only. Okay. But when it comes to remaining 6, that's sometimes 6 may be overlapping, that it is a professional outcomes. That means when the student, after completion of his graduation, joins in some profession, so what he come across there, he may come across professional ethics. All this he should learn, he should demonstrate on the campus in 4 years of stay. That is why some of you would have seen that ethics and communication subject. But actually, another literature says that there is a separate questionnaire. You can have a questionnaire based assessment of them. Like suppose a student is doing some programming, whether he is copying the code, cut and paste. So what is the ethics level? So like that, some questionnaire, I am giving you example. To identify a person professional ethics, you can identify a better questionnaire and you can grab. That is one of them. So, but majority we are following ethics and communication subject for 2 credits or 3 credits. So we are mapping it. So similarly, teamwork. This is a professional outcome. So how you make him, mentor him in the team? He must be in a position to communicate. And 11th one, if you see interesting, he must know the finance also. Because it is economic growth. Earlier it was not there actually, separately as a separate. They made it separate. So for all these things, he require lifelong learning. Continuously, he must be in a position to know. So these are all 1 or 2 overlap. If PO6 or this one doesn't matter, but 50% generally will be for technical outcomes, which can be drilled down to what you call technical outcomes, courses, board of studies, curriculum, are not curriculum, courses. So remaining part of co-curricular activities or professional outcomes. Okay. So this what you are seeing. Just I want to make you alert. The 4 lines, if it is very pakka, then only accreditation will give you more marks, which is in gray color box. Yellow color is a non-compliance. Third one is weakness. Fourth one is deficiency. 2 deficiency should not be there. That is the story of accreditation. Why I told accreditation means all this Washington Accord, what you are calling outcome-based education in engineering, all that they are listed in the form of them. So they are the quality assurance bodies. So they do have. So your students, if it is not accredited, means your students are not getting that abilities. These are the some of the things. Because of time, I am just passing on to this one. Yeah, you see one of the why we have to understand problem analysis. See what exactly statement. Can anybody, my question is now, again break off your learner centric this one. Anybody have gone through the totality of this PO2? Only example I am telling, 12 POs are there. Anybody gone totality of understanding these POs and designed their curriculum or course, or designed their instructional activities, or designed their testing items? Anybody? If anybody is there, we will have a beautiful discussion. Not there also, we will have beautiful discussion, but minus beautiful discussion. Anybody before designing, either it may be in board of studies or it may be teaching, if anybody test items designing, anybody you have asked first principles like that, mathematics, natural sciences, engineering sciences? Anybody can respond? Anybody chat box? All your videos are switched off. మునిస్వా గారు ఉన్నట్టున్నారే? మునిస్వా గారు?
సార్ సురేష్ సార్ చెప్పండి సార్.
కొంచెం
మధు బాల మేడంని.
తెలుసు కొంచెం రెస్పాన్స్ చూద్దామని. దీనికి సంబంధించి క్వశ్చన్ వేసాము, రెస్పాన్స్ చూద్దామని. అందరిది ఒకసారి వీడియోస్ ఆన్ చేయండి.
I need that photograph also. Please, all the participants just
unmute చేయండి. అందరిది అన్మ్యూట్ చేయండి కొంతసేపు, ఎందుకంటే బిఫోర్ కంక్లూడింగ్ another 15 minutes. So
thank you sir.
అందరికి చెప్పండి అన్మ్యూట్ చేస్తున్నామని. వీడియో కూడా చూపించేసేయండి, ఒకసారి ఫోటోగ్రాఫ్ తీసుకోవచ్చు, నేను చూడొచ్చు వాళ్ళ అటెంటివ్నెస్. ఐఆర్ఈ వాళ్ళు బాగా అటెంటివ్గా ఉండాలి కదా 24/7.
ఎగ్జామ్స్ జరుగుతున్నాయి సార్ ఇప్పుడు, దాంతో కొంతమంది అటెండ్ అవ్వగలుగుతున్నారు.
ఎగ్జామ్స్ అంటే సెమిస్టర్
డ్యూటీస్ ఉన్నాయి.
సెమిస్టర్ ఎండా? ఫస్ట్ సెకండ్ అదే ఫస్ట్ సెమిస్టర్,
కరెంట్ సెమిస్టర్ సిఐఈ ఎగ్జామ్స్.
సిఐఈనా?
ఎంత నాన్న నెంబర్
57.
ఫస్ట్ టెస్ట్ ఎన్ని
7. 8.
సెకండ్ డేటా
బయట పార్టిసిపెంట్స్ ఎవరైనా ఉన్నారండి?
All are, most of them are outside participants, sir.
Okay, okay. Outside participant, I love to talk just any discussion because aeronautical I used to visit, conduct. Outside participant, anything is there, we will discuss, we will share. Not only myself only teaching you. Anybody outside, you can discuss. You can interact, and you can interact. I am also switching on video. I am also switching on video. You can interact. Anything is there, please let me know. We will share and we will discuss. Whatever I know, we will share. Especially other than IARE, it will be good because there is maybe occasions to interact with IARE. That doesn't mean I am denying that. సురేంద్ర గారు అంటే హితం కదండి?
Yes, sir.
మరి సిస్టర్ కన్సర్న్ అంటే అటు పెట్టుకుంటే అందరం వెరీ గుడ్. ఎట్టుందన్నారు? బాగున్నారా మీ చైర్మన్ గారు?
Yes, sir. All good, sir.
ఓకే, ఓకే, గుడ్. మీరేం అప్లై చేయడం లేదా ఎఫ్డిపిలో?
Not during this time, sir. We did one workshop and one more in
Otherwise, question is why you are not applying?
we are doing, sir, but not as frequently as others do.
Yeah. Where is Dr. Munuswamy? Okay, shall I continue, madam? You take photograph. Just we will continue. Because
Taken, sir. Taken, sir. Screenshot
I will
taken.
continue. You can switch off. Okay,
Yes.
I will start because there's a lot much material is there.
Okay, sir.
Okay, I will continue. So basically, if you understand what is program outcomes, as I mentioned, this outcome based for engineering, and what are the techniques? It may be digital platform, or you are using heavy ICT or simulation tools, or any other thing. Before going into that, you must understand program outcomes very clearly. For example, if you see how much they derived this attribute, just see how many important elements in that statement. In that statement, how many you see? That is what I would like to project you. Because of time paucity, I am passing on to this one. See, 28, not 28. 38 elements are there. 38 key elements are there. See, for one statement, we are having 38 elements on hand. So these 38 elements, not possible for us daily to go and see that. So in board of studies, if it is autonomous, or non-board of studies also, if it is university, you can represent that. You have to drill it down to this 38 to either 5 or 6. That should be approved by board of studies. Then only you have to map all these to courses, because simply you cannot map. Okay, course mapping is a very clear, simply in the sense you will compromising on the meaning of the program. It is not subjective, it is quantitative only. Program outcome, why they made earlier HML they were making, later they made it as a 1, 2, 3. There is a methodology. One of my paper was there. Subsequently, any occasion I will share with you. It is a quantified how you map a course to program outcome to, and you put number 1, 2 like that. Two methods we derived actually. This is one of the method. From this, how to compress it, compressing 4, 5 elements and doing that, right? Another example I am showing you. Just my intention is to make you before designing or thinking about any course, if you see that it is mapping, just have a glance at that. Doesn't mean you are not having glance at that. From my literature point of view, I understood that it is better to have. If you see PO3, I am not touching PO6. Both are same, almost same, reasoning informed. Because PO3 is very important, especially engineering. It is a design. It is there also in theme also. Problem solving, design, both are in main themes of the engineering graduate outcome-based education. So, for example, if you see, if you are dealing with interdisciplinary projects, Internet of Things from non-destructive testing, or Internet of Things for agriculture, it is not just like that you go with some IoT sensors and keep some programming and come out of it. You require to study well the agriculture domain and see it is interdisciplinary. So all this how to design that. So see how many are there, how many are there elements. These are the meaning of original meanings of that program outcomes. But nevertheless, we need not worry about this. But before going into the what you call designing the syllabus of a course, instruction activities of a course, testing a course, or mapping into the program outcomes, one must be aware of all these key elements of program outcomes, which gives you a better understanding of program outcome, and you can do wonders on that definitely, because majority faculty, they know everything but only structuring. So this is again. So for example, fourth one I would like to show. They have given bigger statement. It do contain several elements, but you can drill down to 4. You can drill down to 4. So once if you drill down to 4, you can see now your course. You must address design. You must address analyzing the data, interpret the data. So like this, it will go modern tool. Something I have shown you. If you bottom, if you see, I am giving you suggested Bloom level, all this stuff. The reason being to achieve that what abilities mentioned in Washington Accord or in outcome-based education, and what kind of pedagogy I have to apply. What is the pedagogy model? Because you have supplied me a 12 list, one list of graduate attributes. When it is required, how I can teach? I am a teacher. As I mentioned in this initial remarks, we are teachers. We are doing wonderful work. But how to do? This was actually questioning me for the past 10 years. Teachers are not changed. Please understand. Teaching methods also not that changed. But the point here is, when these things are coming into picture, abilities, if it is required, you have to use digital platform, or you have to use some advanced pedagogy. Then you have to use something which is required. If you feel these abilities are possible with Chalk and Tester, fine. That is the best pedagogy. You have to decide. You have to decide. So that all these program outcomes must be addressed by your graduating students. That is actually, whether it is affiliated or autonomous, affiliated also, you have to insist. This is the what exactly we have to look into the courses instead of giving some other whatever old editions. This you can think. Okay, suppose you see modern engineering technique. Some of you may be civil engineering. Now surveying they are using. Earlier big chain I was seeing on the road, big chains, and they were doing. Now it is changed. They are using something very easily with something like that, measurings, all this. So how you go with? Earlier clock was very different. Earlier we were having time clocks, bigger clocks, all clocks. You see how it is changed. Modern engineering techniques you used, it is a digital this one. So why I am trying to say is modern tool usage in your subject is highly appreciated. That is why they call it as advanced this one. That is based on technology and uncertainty. So this also if he is having around seven, PO 12 lifelong learning. This is that is not visible. This is PO 12 lifelong learning. That is why I want to show a sample of 6 program outcomes. These are all having 7 key elements. So whenever you are designing a lifelong learning is without intervention of the faculty, student ability, he should get the ability. So there is a theory behind it. There is a theory behind it. So in your learning process, the student learning process, what way you are presenting it to him? What exactly you are expecting from him? So all these matters a lot. Okay. So one of the pedagogy model, because of the time, just I will show you this one of the model, but popular model. Other BRICS model is there, UK model say they are developed, but not that much popular. Even this is also Bloom's not developed for engineering education. They developed for some higher secondary education. They were also not. They were not any this one related to board of studies, board of examiners. When they were sitting while correcting in this is the story of 1950s plus or minus. All the board of examiners they felt that there should be a uniformity of the answering. In this sense, all subjects like medical, or if you see any this one medical or any other financial, we can categorize. Financial means you can say that budgetary items you can categorize. When it comes to engineering education and curriculum development, the points are not, the answers are not categorized. For the same question, different students use it to write different answers. And I heard that one of the country, they will be very curious if the student give wrong answer, they will give marks, but they will see what is he understood this question differently. So this type of things are there. You should develop a vocabulary which is more popular after Bloom's. Again, is students all these developed, and of course later developments they adopted by Abbott and NBA. So having said that, so that is why we call it as a Blooms. Again, don't read internet with revised Blooms or Blooms. This is already 70 years old. So whatever we are having only latest revised Blooms, and it is called Blooms only. Okay. So pedagogy most approach of teaching, theory and practice of learning. So how this process is influenced by all these learners. So students should feel that they got the ability for a given set of learning tasks. So this is one of the, I think 99, he passed away Bloom's. I will show you that this one, it has not come properly. Okay, 99 with Alzheimer's he died. So anyway, a wonderful contribution. Now engineering education all started. How to adopt outcome-based education is using his taxonomy. How to use effectively is the matter of lot. So not going in detail, Because last 5 minutes I would like to this one. It's useful for
అది
planning.
అమ్మీటర్ అసలు పనిచేస్తలేదు.
Three domains essentially they touched upon in 1915 the meeting.
వైర్ తెగిన కానీ అమ్మీటర్
Affective domain and psychomotor domain. I think some disturbance is there. You can unmute.
అదేం మార్చాలంట
Mute them. Madhu Bala madam.
అమ్మీటర్ తీసుకుపోయి చూడు దొరుకుతాం.
Madhu Bala madam, you can mute them.
అమ్మీటర్ ఇంటి పెట్టుకొని తీసుకెళ్ళి చూడు.
వీళ్ళది రైట్
Okay.
Sir, continue change. I have muted them.
Okay. So in doing so, these three domains, cognitive, affective and psychomotor. So basically more popular is cognitive domain, affectionate domain and psychomotor domain. Measuring difficult. It doesn't mean we cannot have discussion for this one. Generally in engineering education, measuring, assessing is difficult. Assessing is difficult. That is why literature is not that much available for affective and psychomotor domain. As far as engineering education is concerned, generally may be available. So we cannot make affective domain effectively. That is why more predominantly defined. This is 1956 statement. This is student. So basically here you have to see. That is what is helpful. Basically addressed 4 questions. Fourth one is, I think I have not typed. First question. Within a limited hours classroom, what are the important content I can teach to the student? All we cannot teach. This is, they have clearly mentioned, participated by psychiatrists, doctors and publishers also. Within limited hour, industry ready, not possible. So what is the best we can do in that? So scientists and several eminent academicians, they designed some content. So how we can plan our instruction according to the content? Then how we can assess? And of course, the last one is how all the above three are in straight line. Content is different, instructional activity is different, assessment test items are different. There is no point. You are not properly assessing his abilities of outcome-based education. So this is what, with this one I will conclude. See, basically what he has developed is a 2 dimensions. 1956, it was only knowledge-based dimension. Later he thought that he and this is a big team. It was very big team. He was only principal investigator of that project. When a person sits in the classroom, when the student sits in the classroom, what way is thinking? Because they will sit with different backgrounds. One may be knowing the concept, one may be knowing the language, one may not be knowing the language, one may be having a preparation to the class, flipped classroom, all this stuff will be there. So several things are there. Out of 7, they picked up 6. Out of 7, after research, they picked up 6. Similarly, another dimension row wise, several knowledge are there. Prescriptive knowledge, descriptive knowledge, whatever comes to your mind, all are there. They discard it, and as per student is concerned, we can concentrate on four knowledge types, levels: factual knowledge, conceptual knowledge, procedural knowledge, metacognitive knowledge. Similarly, cognitive dimension, remember, understand, apply, analyze, evaluate, create. All these 6 represent his abilities against these 4 rows. Please understand. That is why I am stopping here. Subsequently, any time this I will explain. See, all these 6 is cognitive. Very clear. Cognitive is mental abilities. So encountered against the knowledge. What type of knowledge? That he represented in a tabular form. So whatever courses you are developing, right from drilling down to graduate attributes to engineering education to graduate attributes to course design, and subsequently based on course design, how to represent those characteristics or properties of 12. You are represented using a pedagogy model, which we call it as a Bloom's taxonomy model. That taxonomy model will take you to that moksha. Okay. With this, time paucity is there. So I thank all of you. Any doubts are there? I will be waiting. Some other time we will meet. It is a big story again. It will take another 3 hours. So each individual example is there. But basically you have to see that how each one will this one, right? Again, each cognitive dimension is having some sub parameters 1, 2, 3. You can see, remember, is having 2, recognizing and recalling. If you understand top that vocabulary, once you enter into question paper mode or course mode, this understand is different, normal English understand is different. That is why understand writing course outcomes little bit you have to think, because it contains 7 sub elements: interpreting, exemplifying, classifying, summarizing, inferring, comparing, explaining. Like that, around 19 are there. Again, these 4 rows are divided into 11, 19 by 11 matrix. Other time we will discuss. Actually, case study is there, but because of time problem, we will see some other time. So I will stop at this level. Yeah, thank you. Madam, Madhu Bala madam,
Sir.
anything is there? You can, this one question and answers session. Anybody?
Please, participants, if you have any questions or any discussions.
Course outcomes. Is the doubt or?
Exactly, it is not getting Murali, sir.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Excuse me, sir.
Yeah, yes, sir.
Good afternoon, sir. This is regarding this question is regarding the mapping of CO, PO, sir.
Yes, sir.
CO. Sir, is any rules or norms for mapping
Yes,
the
sir.
CO?
Yes, sir. It is there, sir. Actually, we are not practicing here. But there is a rule. You have seen this one of my paper, I think 6-7 years back I presented.
Okay.
We have done extensive study on the understanding key important ingredients. You can say in normal English, our understandable English, ingredients of a PO statement. Based on that, one of the method we derived is one aspect. You can give 1, 2, 3. 3 stands for high, you know that. That is one method. Other method is based on your instructional activity. Based on your instructional activities, what level you are going to teach, that you have to decide. So based on that, you can see 2 methods are there.
Okay. Okay, sir. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you. Open for doubts. Reasonably, I will share with my experience. Remember that we are teachers only. Nothing we are inferior. Don't see that buzzwords and don't afraid of whatever we are doing only. We have to make it into a frame. Proper frame, that's all. Now they are measuring student.